Alright, this simulation brought to you by TestOut is all about selecting and installing a network adapter. The scenario reads, you are the IT administrator for a small corporate network. To accommodate specific network communication needs for an upcoming project, you have to upgrade the network connections speed for the workstation in Office 2. In this lab, we're going to select and install the network interface card with the fastest speed. We're going to connect the computer to the network, and we're going to use the settings app to confirm that the workstation is connected to the local network and the internet. So let's open up the computer here. And one thing they should mention when you open up the computer, we really should unplug it from the power source. So we'll just be all fancy and do that right now. So now it's unplugged from the power source. We can work on the computer. What we're going to do, you don't really need to do any of that to pass the lab, but you know, in real life that's what you should be doing. So let's look at network adapter cards here. And so we got this network adapter, Ethernet 10, 100, 1000 base TX PCIe. That's a pretty good card. We might use that one. We got a modem, 33.6K. Definitely not going to be using this one. This is like dial-up status. That's an RJ11 port, so not using that one. We got a network adapter, 10G base SR Ethernet with an SC multi-mode PCI 32-bit universal. This is a fiber optic card with the stick and click connectors. And I don't believe we're dealing with fiber optics in this scenario. If I was to plug this in, it would have to go into some type of router to accept the fiber optic. So we're just going to be using this wall plate right here. So it has to be Ethernet or coaxial, but I think we're leaning towards Ethernet. So this one's out of the question, which makes this one out of the question. So we have a network adapter, Ethernet 10, 100 base TX, PCIX, and this one is kind of like the same as this one, but this one's better. So we're not using that one, and we're not using the modem 56K, that's dial-up again. So the best one we're using is going to be this one right here. If you see the bottom of this card right here, that is PCIe X1, which is a little tiny slot to insert it, which is going to be this one right here. So we're going to insert it into that one. Let's flip to the back view here. We're going to connect the computer to the network. So let's grab our RJ45 cable here. We got Cat6A. We're going to connect that there, and then connect it to the wall plate. Alright, now that we got our card in, we can connect our computer again. So we'll do that. We'll turn it on here. Make sure that the voltage is correct, that's fine. And now we can turn on the computer. And it says use the settings app to confirm that the workstation is connected to the local network and the internet. So we could look at the bottom right corner here. It says internet access. That's a good sign. We can right click it, go to this window right here, which is showing that the Ethernet is connected. We're on a public network. We could change that to private, but it's not simulated. It should be on private because we're in an office, so this is a private network. We can go to control panel and go to the classic network and sharing view here. So we can go to network and internet, network and sharing. We can click here on Ethernet 2, and then we can go to properties, which will bring up this window. Here everything's being assigned automatically through the DHCP. through the router that's in the network closet. Here's our details page. We are getting internet access because we have an IPv4 address here, which is correct. If this had said 169.254.something.something, then that would have been a sign that we're not able to connect to the internet. And maybe DHCP would be off, but here it says yes, which is enabled. If we go to change adapter settings, we can see that the Ethernet 2 is plugged in, which is a good sign. And then we have an X here on the Ethernet, which is the integrated Ethernet. If we go back to the view here, remember that X? That X is associated with this port right here. That's on the, it's like the integrated network adapter that's on the motherboard. So that's why you see that X, and then you have that one connected down there. So we're not using Ethernet, we're using Ethernet 2. Again, if we right click it and go to properties, we could either go to that window or we can go to statuses, which will go to this window again. Everything seems fine. We're getting 1 gigabits per second speed, so we're good to go. 1,000 megabits per second is 1 gigabits per speed, so that's all good there. And yeah, that's just a few different ways to. You could also use the IP config /all in here and just make sure that you have your IP address. You got a proper IP address right here. Your default gateway is being recognized. DHCP is on. You could even ping your local address. Let's see if this is simulated. You could ping 127.0.0.1, and it is. As you can see, we have some information here that the packets were sent and received. No lost packets. That means our network card that means our network card is working properly. And yeah, that's about it. I don't think this would let you ping google.com, right? Yeah, that's not going to work, but you get the idea. So everything's working good. And yeah, that's it.